Awesome. Well, welcome to the Category of One podcast. We're super excited to have you here. Today we have a guest who is a member of CO1, and we're super excited. His name's Hunter. He's an absolute legend on the TikTok shop. He's a legend in Amazon, and I'm excited to hear his story. When he joined CO1, I remember us talking, and there was just so much depth to the knowledge that he has. And within the group, he's just made so many relationships so fast with all the guys. And I just wanted to tap into the secret sauce. So we're grateful to have you here.
I love it. I'm stoked.
Well, so what made you want to be an entrepreneur?
Honestly, I don't really know if it was ever a decision in my head that I made, right? I was always that kid on the corner with a snow cone shack trying to sell snow cones for $10 when they should have been 50 cents, right? I remember in elementary school, I would draw pictures and try to sell them to kids. I would go to the Skittles machine, buy Skittles and try to go sell them to somebody for $1, right? That was just me. And growing up, my mom also was kind of an entrepreneur as well. She had her own nail salon and stuff like that. So I feel like it's pretty just innate in me to kind of just go that path.
And just crush.
We try. We try.
That's so funny because for me, I feel like a lot of times I have to really force out that side of me to go out and sell.
Sure. I mean, selling is natural human nature, right? But you have to constantly remind yourself that that's what you're doing, right?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. What do you feel like was a belief that you had during all those years and as you got older that wasn't serving you? And what was the moment that you realized and what did you learn from it?
Well, little background on me. So my parents got divorced when I was 2 years old. By the time I was 5, both of them had gotten remarried. And kind of growing up, my families got along with both of them great. They even got along really great. Grew up in a fantastic environment. But they were very different in their socioeconomical status, what they liked to do on the weekends, what they didn't like to do, so on and so forth. So I kind of got brought up in two relatively different environments. And I think unknowingly I was able to say this is what I liked from this environment and this is what I liked from this environment, or this is what I didn't like. So I'm going to do my best to make sure that I'm kind of different than that. Right. So I think just growing up, I was, again, unknowingly able to kind of choose my path of these two separate paths and say, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is me, right?
So it was you grew a sense of independence along the way.
Oh, extremely independent. Yeah. People always ask me, they're like, did you ever go to your mom's house and tell your dad that you went to friends, or vice versa? Did you ever lie that you were at one of their houses to go do something else? I was like, no, never.
You're I just did it.
I just did whatever I wanted, basically. My parents were always as long as we know where you're at and who you're with, we don't care what you're doing, right? So I didn't ever have to kind of scapegoat my way around that.
Yeah. Was there any belief systems that came up that maybe didn't serve you so well?
I think, growing up here in Utah as well, I'll keep kind of the religion side of it to the side, right? But bringing it back to the community aspect, loved the community aspect of it, right? But there's also parts of a community where you need to kind of diverge and go your own way as well, right? Not follow the masses to a certain degree. So I think because I was so independent as well, it kind of led me to my own path as well, right? And that kind of goes hand in hand with what your other question was too.
So you feel one of those belief systems was, following the masses and then learning to go out on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So what gave you the courage to do it?
I still feel like I'm still trying to figure that out sometimes. I think just the more I recognized growing up, you just got to do what you want to do. Just take action, right? There's something to be said around being naive around what you want to do, because if you just do it, you're going to go down that path anyways, right? Versus, oh, I've got these 5 options of what I want to do. How do I decide which one to do? You're just oh, okay, today it's this one. We're just going down that path. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? And I think I do a really good job at just not letting other people's opinions like influence what I actually want to do, right? Even if
Mhm.
they might be right, I might stubbornly do what they say not to do. But again, it's just taking that action and saying like at the end of the day, action is better than just waiting around.
Yeah. I was watching a mentor of mine the other day, and he made this reel, and he goes, "There comes a certain point in your career where you got to buck up and trust yourself to go out and do what you say you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a certain point where talk stops working.
Yep.
You're not going to be able to tell people what you're going to do and how great it is and be all motivational. There comes a certain point where you have to make the choice. Am I going to make this real or not?
Yep.
Am I actually going to go out and pursue this? And I think when that moment happens, not only do you go out and get what you want, but you start to grow this sense of confidence that, like, no, I'm the problem, but I'm also the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a beautiful place, because then you start to realize that I can move and shake the way I want to.
Yep.
So how did you learn that building your business? Like, what were some of those moments where you felt that place and you're like, okay, I got to buck up and figure this out?
Well, so I think like everybody says they want to be an entrepreneur, and I think that's got like so many different facets of what that actually looks like. Like you've got your true entrepreneurs, you've got your intrapreneurs who are just entrepreneurs within a thriving company already, right? But then you've also got your wantrepreneurs, people that say they want to be an entrepreneur, kind of act like they are, but like you said, they haven't kind of taken that leap to say like they're going to own it, like this is what we're doing it, right? And I've been all three of those at different times and sometimes at the same time as well, right? But with one of the agencies I was help running quite a few years ago, we started a 3PL. And I actually kind of mentioned this already, but that naiveness of it, I think, is actually really strong, because if we would have known exact costs, time, everything we had to actually figure out and do to get this 3PL started, I guarantee we would have never done it, right? But we were like, hey, we should start a 3PL. And we drove down to Vegas to look at warehouses. We looked at some here in Salt Lake, and we ended up just pulling the trigger. Had this little dump 10,000 square foot warehouse, right? Cobwebs, moving cobwebs to basically get to inventory, right? But we did it. And by the time I'd left, we were in like a 60 to 70,000 square foot building, brand new, right?
Wow.
But it took forever, and we weren't even profitable by the time I had left. And again, we would have probably never have done that if we would have had a glimpse into the future of like, this is what it was going to take. This is how much you guys are going to work on it. These are the issues you're going to run into. We just went into it blindly and naive and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. And we did it, right? So I kind of think of that moment pretty often actually when I'm thinking of new decisions and things like that. Is, yeah, sometimes it's good to be naive. You don't need to have everything figured out to actually go and do it, right?
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that's easy to overlook sometimes, because what I'm noticing is, a through line in a lot of what you're saying is you had a lot of trust in yourself to go out and figure things out. One of the best ways to learn is biting off more than you can chew and learning to chew it.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that takes that trust. Where I find it's easy to struggle is we want to have all the answers. We want to have things figured out. And when we set that expectation that we do,
Mm-hmm.
when things inevitably don't go the way you thought, it's easy to quit.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't know what you don't know, and you just instill this ability to go out and learn, that's where the power is. It's
Yep.
like, I don't know all the answers, but I know I can learn how to find them.
Yep.
And eventually I'll get there. And that's where it's hard, because it's easy to have that expectation. Oh, I have it all figured out. Things are going to go exactly to plan. And, if they don't, like, it just may not be for me.
Yep. Yep. I'm not good at this. I'm so bad at this. Like, no, you've been doing it for 3 months. That's the reason, right? Like, you're so new to this. Like, just keep going, one foot in front of the other.
So what does your self-talk sound like in those moments? Because it sounds like you repeat those things to yourself a lot.
I am probably a very stereotypical, cliche guy when it comes to that. I'm the one at the gym listening to like motivational podcasts, like David Goggins screaming in my ear, like, go harder, who's carrying the logs? Like I'm very much that. And I think my wife kind of makes fun of me sometimes for it. But it's true, right? Like your self-talk is extremely important. And I probably have more bad days than I do even just subpar or good days, right? But I can also recognize that, I expect those highs and those lows to go through it, right? So
Yeah.
I think the self-talk is just reminding myself, like, okay, I'm in this moment. I've got this issue that I need to figure out. Like, I know I'm going to figure it out. I just have to put the time and the effort into it, and it's going to figure it out. Like, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like, always.
Hmm.
Even if you're trying to dig through a mountain, right? There's always going to be an end at some point. But you have to keep using that pickaxe to hit it, right? If you're not using the pickaxe, you're not going to have that light at the end of the tunnel, right? So I think it's more of just recognizing I just have to keep pushing myself to get to where you need to be.
Yeah, I heard this quote the other day that I thought was really good. The biggest letdown isn't failure. It's never knowing how close you were to figuring it out.
Yep.
Never quit 3 feet from gold, right?
Yep.
And that's what I think when you have those systems in place of how to talk to yourself and you're constantly reiterating the man you are and the things you want to go out and create, it becomes very easy when things get hard because you know how to talk to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The hard part is differentiating the two.
Yep.
Like I would just, I ran this marathon last weekend.
Yep.
And it was extremely difficult for me. 3 weeks leading up to this race. So Kelsey basically labored for 1 week
Yep.
before giving birth.
Yep.
And she got bronchitis at the same time. So she's completely out of commission.
Yep.
Okay. And I got this 2-year-old and I'm running my job and I know she's going to give birth eventually. So I know all that time's going to be taken off. So but I had to be home. I had to be there to support her. Okay. Then she gives birth and our kid ends up in the NICU.
Yep.
And so obviously a lot of time has to go to there. Then after the NICU, baby comes home, still on oxygen. And so the oxygen wasn't a big deal. We knew our son was healthy, and so we were okay. But the hard part was Kelsey's recovering from birth. You have a kid that has a 15-foot radius and a 2-year-old that doesn't know how to stop. Like, he has no chill. And so, which you love him for it, right? But it's just hard because you can't go. And so I can't go. Kelsey can't go. You have to have someone playing man-to-man. And my training got all out of whack. Yep. I show up on race day. I start running. And I just said, I am going to run at the pace until the wheels fall off. If I don't make it, I don't make it. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to do whatever I can to get there. Yep. And hopefully I'm just banking on the years of experience that I have to get me there. So I start running the race. And I'm hitting 550s in the beginning for the first 7 miles.
Which is crazy, by the way. That's wild.
And then I get to the hills, and all of a sudden, there was this... Have you ever reached like a threshold moment?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
So anyone who's reached that threshold moment, it doesn't matter how hard or easy or like what the level of effort is. Mm-hmm. It's just where it's your threshold. There's this tearing that happens inside of you. And as I'm going up these hills, I can just feel my soul tearing apart. Because I knew I had reached my max capacity. Mm-hmm. I get over the hills and I start going down. And immediately I realized that there was a new version of Brock that had come out on the other side of those hills. Mid-race, I'm recognizing this. I'm like, I'm a new person. I will never be the same.
Yeah, but what did you do to get yourself to keep going to get over that hill, though?
Yeah. Well, part of it was that self-talk. Is understanding. I said, I am a sub 240 marathoner. I am capable and I am strong. And I had reiterated that 3 days before. I was at Flow House and I was doing a meditation to prepare for that moment.
Yep.
We call this forward thinking. FORE, forward thinking. And I was in that, and I was in the ice bath, and I was recognizing my own value, recognizing every day that I had showed up and all the preparation that I had put into that moment to know who I was becoming. Mm-hmm. And then when that moment came and I tore apart, all of a sudden I started going down the hills and I instantly knew. I was like, I'm going to get there. And I just repeated that till the end of the race. I am a sub 240 marathoner. I am a sub 240 marathoner.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never be the same. And it's crazy to think because my training was so out of whack. Okay, I finished that race and my body was destroyed almost exactly the same as after a 100-miler.
Yeah.
Like it was that bad because I didn't have the preparation, right?
Yeah.
But there was this blissful feeling that I knew that I was stronger. And it was crazy. Just this morning, I did a high rocks circuit. And about 2 months before the race, I was doing a strength training and I was doing the same circuit. And I was doing the sled pushes. And the pro weights is really hard for me. Like I'm 155 and I got to be able to push like 435, right?
Yeah.
A big, big change. And I could do it, but it was really tough. Today I had that same weight on and I was able to move it very almost effortlessly. And physically, I'm no more capable, but mentally, I'm so much stronger.
I love that example. It's kind of the scenario of like, you know, how you're driving and all of a sudden you get home and you don't even realize how you got home. Like you don't even remember driving home, right? That same thing kind of just happens in life as well. It's like, I think of me from like high school Hunter to now, and I'm like, wow, I've actually done a lot in that period of time that, again, I don't even recognize that's so innate to me now, right? But sometimes I still feel like I'm that high school Hunter, right? But then I can be like, no, I've gone through X, Y, Z. Like I've been through this all before, so I can do it again, right? I think it kind of goes with what you were just saying, where whether you realize it or not, like you, by living day to day, you are getting better and past that, right? You're like, your body has muscle memory for those types of things too.
Have you ever had a moment where you felt like you were failing, but you overcame it?
Probably every single day.
What's that experience been for you?
I think me personally, like I am such a go-getter and I have such high aspirations that it's, you know, if I feel like I'm off track or I'm not where I should be or things are happening a little bit slower than I want them to be, like that is the hardest part for me, right? And it's not that I necessarily like set these outrageous expectations stuff. It's not like I've got this grandiose end goal, right? But you're like, okay, we've been doing this project for 6 months. Like, how are we still only at this point in time? Like, we should be way further ahead than we actually are, right? I think on a day-to-day basis, that's like the biggest struggle for me is leveling with myself. But also recognizing like, okay, well, yeah, we've still done all this though. You know what I mean? Like recognizing, okay, this is everything we've already done. We've already figured out, even though you're not at that tipping point that you wanted to be yet, like you've still done all of this in that short amount of time as well.
How are you measuring whether or not you're on track or not?
Some things are like actual goals, right? Because we've got specific KPIs set in place, but also sometimes it's just kind of like a gut feeling as well, right? Like I'm sure if you started running a marathon, you didn't have your watch on, you'd still kind of know where you were at in that point of time of to be like a sub 240 marathon.
Oh, I
pace.
know.
Exactly, right? So I think part of that is just part of you,
the muscle memory
as well. The muscle memory, the gut feeling is a real thing, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty common experience because I think through our day-to-day lives, it's easy to think, oh, I'm showing up or I'm not, and then be hard on ourselves to feel like we're not doing enough. And then we hurry and go kick it into gear. Like what I often see with entrepreneurs is I look at an entrepreneur like a Ferrari, okay? And that you got reverse, you got neutral, and you have drive. And a lot of the times when things are going wrong and we start to self-sabotage, right, we're in reverse. And what entrepreneurs do is we try to take that reverse and hurry and kick it into drive, and then we bust the transmission in the process.
Yep. I like that analogy, actually.
And what I found to be helpful is what you were saying is where we're in reverse and we recognize, hey, maybe I'm not there. And sometimes it's that gut feeling and sometimes we have measurements, but a lot of the times we're measuring against something we don't even know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We feel like we're off, but we don't even know why we're off. And we're just being hard on ourselves. And it's honestly like this emotional home that we've created of anxiety and stress and pressure. And we often feel like we need anxiety, stress, and pressure in order to operate at a high level. And so
Like
we
things are almost going too well.
yeah, we
You're
willingly,
like, what's going on?
Exactly. We feel like something's wrong because things are going our way. And so we deliberately put ourselves back there without knowing it.
Yep.
And where you start to put yourself from reverse into neutral and then into drive is where you start to not just monitor everything that didn't happen and where you're not stacking up, but everything that did happen and everything that is going your way. And you have this cookie jar that you can pull from to know, oh, I am capable. I overcame here, and this is how I can do it now.
Well, and take that analogy a step further as well with the Ferrari, right? Your environment, the level of the road is also very important. If you're trying to start a car on a hill that's already 90 degrees up, right? That's going to be impossible versus trying to start that when the ground is flat, right? So I think your environment in that scenario is also extremely important to even, really start pushing on the gas anyways.
It is so funny you bring up environment because it's been so heavy on my mind lately. Because environment, the way I look at environment is environment equals the amount of options available to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hanging around an environment where the standard is really low, the things you're measuring against is how your friends and the people you know are doing.
Yep.
And inevitably, right, if you're hanging around the 5, you'll become the 6th. And that's the amount of options that are available. Even if you're doing better, that group is still setting the standard for you.
Yep.
That's how you know I'm doing better.
Yep.
Whereas when you raise the standard to a group to where they're either doing better or they're right there sharpening the sword with you, inevitably you start to recognize and have a standard that opens up so many more options. Where growth is the normal is where you start to realize how capable you are. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I remember when I was very first starting my ultramarathon journey. Okay. Do you know who Cam Hanes is?
I do not.
So he's an ultramarathoner, bow hunter, absolute legend.
Okay.
And Mountain Ops had invited him to come out to their booth at the hunting expo. And I went because I knew Cam was going to be there. And this guy, man, I put him on such a high pedestal. Like, this guy was an absolute legend and an idol and someone I'd looked up to for years. And I really wanted to hear the secret sauce of what made him tick. Mm-hmm. As he was sitting there talking, I was like, this guy's just a dude like me.
Yep.
He's no different. He's just made better decisions than I have.
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, I went and ran my first ultra. But he said that just being in that proximity to him opened up a door that wouldn't have been available probably otherwise.
He said that to you?
No, he was just standing there and I was just close and I was sitting there and I'm like, if he can do it, so can I.
Yeah.
He just made better decisions and held himself to a higher standard. I could do that too.
Yep. The two analogies that I give in kind of like the environment or like mindset, ceiling or floor setting is like, think of a goldfish, right? Like a goldfish can only roam around in as big of a tank as you give it, right? Like it can never exceed that physical space, right? So if you've got a goldfish in a single pot, it's never going to get outside of that. But then if you go throw it in the ocean, the environment is better and bigger. Maybe not better for a goldfish, but then the other one is, being here in Utah, Draper's kind of looked at as like a pinnacle area to live, right? Nice houses, great people, stuff like that, right? But if you use Draper as your pinnacle for, say, conversation, let's say that the average house price is $1 million. It's way more than that. But if you're using that as kind of like your ceiling, then, okay, you might get there and that's great, but you're never going to exceed that, right? Versus even if you still live here in Utah and you're looking at Draper, but your standard is Beverly Hills, where that average house price is, let's call it $15 to $20 million, right? Even if you don't make it all the way to that Beverly Hills goal, you've probably still made it higher than that Draper goal, right? So your environment and like how you're thinking about things is like very important. Even if you only get 50% of the way to the Beverly Hills goal, you're still above that Draper goal, right?
Yeah.
And I think that can be applied to virtually every aspect of life.
Did you see my post today?
No, I did
Dude,
not.
I made a post about the goldfish.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No,
I
have
said if
not
you
seen
put a
that.
goldfish in a tank, it grows 2 inches.
Yep.
If you put it in a pond, it grows up to 6.
Yep.
If you put it in a lake, it grows over a foot. And, you know, I
That's
said if you're
funny.
feeling stuck, maybe it's just you need a new environment.
Oh,
and
that's so funny. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that
they
yet.
were on the same frequency. But it is so interesting. I was listening to a coach one time. His name's Dan Clark. He's an absolute legend. And he goes, it's not hard to find rooms where people are criticizing others. It's not hard to find a room where people are judgmental. It's not hard to find a room where people can talk about things they want to do. Those rooms are all over the place and you can find them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But the rooms where people are doing what they say they will, where they are spreading ideas and making an impact, you must be willing to pay any price and travel any distance to be in those rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is so true. If you hang around the 5 millionaires, you will be the 6 because it's the only options that become available to you.
Yep.
That's where the power is. And people don't recognize that. Your subconscious mind is always monitoring your environment. They call it interoception. And when it's monitoring your environment, it's not monitoring it based on what you want. It's monitoring it based on what's the most familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't care if you're happy or sad or anxious or scared. It's going to help you get to wherever is the most familiar to you.
Yep.
And so when your subconscious is monitoring your environment, what are you the most familiar with? Is it success? Is it growth? Is it ideas?
Mm-hmm.
Is it innovation? Is it pushing the limits? Or is it judgment?
So I actually just saw this post on LinkedIn. A friend of mine had commented on this scenario, but this guy took a Whoop watch, put it on his wrist, and he tracked it throughout his normal workday as he was talking to specific people or getting on calls with specific clients, and how his heart rate would spike or not spike depending on who he was talking to. And he was basically using it to like gauge like, who do I like talking to? Who do I not like talking to? Where am I like most efficient and effective? But like, only reason he's able to track is because he had the watch on. But if he didn't, that's still happening.
Yeah.
Anyways, right? So it was actually kind of interesting to read that he could identify through something that you have very little control over, like your heart rate and what really increases it or not from just having a conversation like this, right? Who he got along with really well, who caused him stress, all that stuff, right? Like it just happens.
Yep. Well, that's what they call your autonomic nervous system.
There you go.
You're not controlling your gut. You're not controlling your heart. You're not controlling your breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I think often gets overlooked is the breath is the gateway to the subconscious mind. And you can control where you want to be. Like you don't always get to control what your mind consumes from the world,
Mm-hmm.
but you can control what means something.
Hmm.
And so, for example, when you're on a call and let's say someone is super negative, you can tell your mind, reject, this doesn't mean anything. We don't listen to this.
But you got to train it there.
You got to train
You
it.
don't just naturally get there though.
Exactly. And that's the hard part is a lot of us are so unaware.
Sure.
Because we don't train it. We just think it is. It's just life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just life. It's just your life.
Yep.
It's just your reality. Yep. It's not everybody else's.
Yep.
And it can change. It can be different. There are opportunities. There are environments where growth is the normal, where people are supportive and they do care and they do love you. And that is the standard.
Yep.
But people often just don't think that that's available to them and that they're this unique puzzle piece that doesn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And, you know, I think that's one of the beauties that I found as I've surrounded myself with the CO1 guys, but also in the ultra community and races. Like, I love it because I get to meet these people. Like, one of the unique things about running that no other sport has is you could be on a race with all the legends. I run the same race as a pro runner, and it's not like they're in a different area or category. Yep. I've ran with some of the best runners in the world, and I get to just hang out with them. And these guys are so cool, but their mindset and the way they train and the way they think is just different.
Yep.
And I get to be exposed to that. Like, tell me a college football player that just gets to play with an NFL guy in a game.
Yep.
Like, you don't. There's no other sport that really has that like endurance sports.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cool because they operate on a different frequency. And whether I pull something or not, just the exposure itself,
Yep.
just
Worth it.
yeah, it takes you to this next level, and you're like,
Yep.
hey, maybe me too. Maybe
Yep.
I most likely am gonna bonk because I'm trying to run with these pros. But
Sure, but also why not? You know,
I mean,
why not
hurts.
me?
It hurt. Oh no, I mean, so how did you learn this? Like, what clicked for you that said this works?
I don't know if I have an answer for that. It's funny because my wife will always say that as well. Like, we'll go to a family function of mine on one of my sides of my family, and she's like, not in a good way or a bad way, like, you're just different than the rest of your family. Again, not in a good way, not in a bad way, but again, I think growing up with two relatively different environments was great for me. So I don't really know if it was, I mean, obviously I had to learn that, but it was never like me sitting down writing on a piece of paper or studying something to learn that, right? Like, I think it's just, fortunately for me, just kind of been my natural progression through life.
Yeah, and it's, you know, what's an interesting thing is a lot of times when you have hardship when you're young, you gain certain coping mechanisms
Sure.
because of the hard time. It's like, I now have to choose this route, and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, when you do have it, a lot of times you have to grow up a little bit quicker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people go different ways. Like, one of my favorite books is Will by Will Smith. Have you ever read it? It's his memoir.
No, I've heard of it. I haven't read it though.
And I love it. But it's one of the best books on understanding trauma.
Mhm.
And the reason why is because Will's dad, for example, would beat his mom. And there was one night in particular where he knocked the mom out right in front of the kids. Every single one of them saw it.
Mm.
Okay. So each kid acted differently, and Will kind of
Mhm.
dissects this. His sister left. She said,
Yep. Avoid it.
I don't want to be a part of this family anymore. I'm done. I don't need this drama. The brother decided to fight the dad. He was going to stand up for the mom, and he was going to fight. And Will, he decided that if I could just be funny enough, if I could just keep everybody laughing, then everything will be okay. And part of what happened when he got older was he blamed himself if things did go wrong because he wasn't funny enough. He wasn't good enough, right? And it became a self-worth thing.
Yep.
But what I'm noticing is, you know, part of the beauty in your story is you learn to trust yourself. Most people, that's what they're trying to learn, is to trust their intuition, is to trust their decision making. And that's a hard skill set to have. And fortunately for you, that came along the way. And I think you're seeing the fruits of it in today.
Yeah. Again, it's not anything that I think my environment just growing up made it that way. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't pick up any of the negative things as well, right? Like, my wife even sometimes has to like really pull at me to like get things out of me, right? Like, I'm not just this open book, right? And I think that was probably from growing up with divorced parents as well, as like, I had a problem at this house. Oh, okay, I can just go to my dad's house now, or I can just go to my mom's house and, you know, kind of sweep it under the rug a little bit. And you did that so much that was my coping mechanism. And I think I'm still kind of like that today, where if you ask me a question, I won't hold anything back and I'll tell you, but I'm not going to be the one just going and spilling my guts to you, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, thank goodness for wifeys, man.
I know. For real.
I mean, that they notice those things, and girls seem to have just this intuition to know this. Let's just pull this out. They're such curious creatures.
We'll be in the kitchen and she'll be like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Nothing's wrong." She's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, well, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know anything was wrong yet, and my wife's already calling me out for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I guess, yeah, this kind of sucked today. You know what I mean? But
yeah, they just seem to notice those type of things, and thank goodness for them because they keep us straight.
Yes.
So what does the next level of Hunter look like? Where are you headed?
We're on the TikTok shop grind now. Helping run an agency on the TikTok shop and Amazon side. I just sold my Amazon agency to this larger agency, so we're working with them and helping getting that off the ground. And I've started running again for the first.
Go.
I'm like a week and a half in the last 2 years of not running again. So calves are a little sore and feeling it, but I am actually super excited about that. Makes me actually really happy to like start running again.
We're gonna get you rolling.
We're gonna get me rolling.
Dude, I'll tell you what. The most unique individuals that I found on the planet are the ones who want to be a savage in their health, obsessed over their business, and present at home.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful combination.
I love that. Yeah, no, I love that, and I feel it to my core. And even my wife will say sometimes like, you should just don't go to the gym today, like not because she doesn't want me to go and things I shouldn't be, right? But she's like, you just are just go the whole time, like. And I do. I have a hard time sitting not doing anything, right? Like even if
Yeah.
I'm just sitting on the couch and we're watching a movie, my mind is still kind of racing about what I did today, what I need to focus on tomorrow, like ideas that just pop into my head, things like that, right? But yeah, sometimes being able to just sit there and not do anything is very difficult for me.
You just tell them, you don't know me, son.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Learning to sit is a skill set. It's a
Mhm.
patience one. Part
Yeah.
of the reason I like running is
Yeah.
I feel like where you do feel that pull is you can learn that patience to be able to sit and know
Mhm.
that that pull even happens when you're sitting.
Yep.
Like it's not always when you're physically
Sure.
exhausted. It can be just being present with your family. Like I've seen multiple times where I'm just having a hard time turning it off for the day and sitting
Mhm.
and not having to do something. And I'm overlooking a moment with Kelsey and Summit. And sometimes bringing myself into that moment feels like that tear.
Sure, I get that. Yeah.
And, part of it is like, okay, there's a new level of me that I don't have anything to do right now.
Yep.
I don't have to do anything.
Mhm.
I can be here.
Yep.
And actually, I want to be here. And then talking myself through that. That's like you learn that self-talk every single day when you're out there training. And it's a beautiful thing.
It is. Yeah.
So to finish off, if you were to give advice to a young aspiring entrepreneur who's just getting going on his journey, like what would you say to him?
Again, I'm full of cliches, but just do it, right? Like I don't think anybody out there that's done what they said they were going to do have just sat around and just not acted, right? I think most people would agree like it's better to act and fail than to sit around and not ever wonder about the potential, right? One of my biggest fears in my life is complacency. Like I'm not getting better, I'm not growing, but at the same time, like you also have to recognize that this is life, right? Like that's part of it. Like you make it what you want. As cliche as it is, I have a tattoo on my leg that says, just like Hannah Montana, life is what you make it.
There we go. What's the best advice you were ever given?
Best advice I was ever given. I don't know if it was ever advice I was given, but it's just kind of some role models like in my life, right? I think just seeing how hardworking my parents were. I saw an ad the other day. It was a commercial during the World Cup. I think it was Ford. They're like, whoever said work smarter, not harder, basically was dumb. Like, why not do both at the same time? Like that kind of thing. And I think I had really good examples of my life of people that were also doing that. And so I don't know if it was ever anything that was verbally said to me, but rather just really good environment again.
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, thank you, Hunter. This has been awesome.
Appreciate it.
A
Great.
lot of gold nuggets here.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.